It's the morning show with EVH. I'm Eric Von Hessler. This is Autumn Fisher.
Good morning.
Michael Albanese is over there.
Hey, everybody.
Greg Russ is right over there. Do you have a camera on yourself, Greg?
Yeah,
say hello to people.
I have the camera on, but I'm not going to look at the camera.
All right, don't look at it. Just say hello to everybody, and then hit that music, baby, because Eric Von Hessler is back, as they say. When you come back, people say that guy. He's back, and I'm vamping right now, waiting for music that I'm not hearing. Me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. I'm a shooting star through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car flashing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna whirl, hee-ha, there's no stopping me. Burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. All right, there you go. That's what everybody's waiting for like 3.5 months. That's it. Goodbye. Everybody drive safely. Glad to have had you.
Thanks
it was
for tuning
great.
in.
Cathedral. I had you set to cathedral.
Yeah, I noticed that. It helps my my horrible singing voice. I don't. It may be that the people who were fans of the old show and who followed me here are actually playing the biggest joke in the world on me, because I can't understand why anybody would want to hear me sing. And after a while, so many people love me to sing that song that I've become convinced that, well, there just must be something about this voice that people love. But maybe they all meet somewhere together and say, let's make him think we like his voice. And I'm like the victim of...
The longest gag ever.
It's possible, but it's one that I will play along with gladly. Glad to have everybody here. And before we got Jay Busby on the show today from Yahoo Sports. He's going to be on in a few minutes. He's going to talk to us about the Olympics. Everything we want to know about the Olympics. You know, this is Shaun White's big day. And because it's in snowboarding, because he's been a big mouth, and everybody wants to know about Bob Costas's eye.
Yeah,
it's really disconcerting when you're. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's there. He's being paid. He has to do the show. He's thrown some glasses on so that maybe you don't notice.
They have a new angle. I think they set it up a different camera angle to try to mask.
Oh, you can tell that they're doing everything they can, because it's really.
And the lenses in his glasses. I think usually you put no glare lenses in.
Right,
but
put the glare in.
Yeah, so they just blocks out the eyes.
He mentioned it though, like he brought it up at the very beginning of the top broadcast. He's like, I think he just he touched something innocuous in Russia and then rubbed his eye, because everything's diseased and famished over there.
All right, we'll talk to Jay Busby from Yahoo Sports about all of that very soon. We've got Michael is going to be. This is great that we're starting today, because tomorrow Michael has a television debut of sorts. Because
I'm a superstar. I can't even believe I'm here.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
What am I doing on radio? This is nonsense.
He had a case before Judge Alex.
Yes.
Which is I think that the 5th or 6th judge on TV.
First of all, Judge Alex is a no-nonsense, as Brian Regan puts it, Judge.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And it was a lot of fun.
I've seen parts of it.
Very serious.
Yes,
so
it is.
Please take it seriously.
I've seen it. And we got a bunch of other stuff. We got the news with Autumn. Everybody's going to hate you because I used to do the news, and they'll reject you a little bit. But people need to understand it's kind of difficult to give the news and then comment on it at the same time. So we brought in a pregnant lady who used to be really, really cute, and I believe will be cute again. I think you're adorable now, but you're pregnant. You're fat. You understand this.
Yeah, I mean,
your body image is not great right now, I would imagine.
I wouldn't say that.
It's just the image of her body that's not great. That's what you were messing up on.
So before we get to...
I think it's beautiful, but I'm also into that in porn.
Are you really? You're into the fetish, Greg?
Yeah.
Really? Me and my
wife...
The
first time I admit it.
Well,
I pretend not to like sex at all, but that's why. I have deep, dark secrets you don't want to know.
Pregnant ladies are up there at the top for you as far as porn goes.
Third on the list.
Can I tell you that I have... We'll ask about the other two in a minute, but
1 and 2.
I have actually been in the middle of a session. This is a great way to start things off. It's a family show. Good morning. Enjoy your breakfast
A
flight.
session? How old are you?
I know.
I call them. I'll be 50 this year. In my day we called them sessions.
Jane, it's time for a session.
No, but I mean a loan session.
How much
I just call it a sprint.
So I have accidentally, in the middle of going through the internet and looking at things and having my way, I have accidentally come across the pregnancy stuff and stopped everything dead in its tracks. It was just a complete boner killer.
You pulled the plug on the
well,
whole
I
thing.
told you that when my wife was pregnant, we didn't have sex at all, and that was
Right.
my call. I just was not into it. It just seemed weird to me. So, you and your boyfriend, your husband.
I'm no hussy.
I know that you're probably getting on all the time because that's the kind of person you are. What's wrong with that?
No, it hasn't been as much.
Be
lately.
proud.
It hasn't been as much lately because it's really difficult to do.
I think you're just nervous that it's going to come out the wrong shade and he's going to run. I
Yeah.
think that's what the problem
Yeah.
is. You're not. Why is the baby Hispanic? This
It's
is
a lot
weird.
like the UPS delivery
They
guy.
start out real dark. They get lighter.
That's right.
Yeah.
He
Skin
doesn't
tone
know.
is like hair. Now it looks black, but eventually you're going to divorce me.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I want to get to a few things. I wish we had music for this, but we don't. This is I've been off of the air for about 3.5 months. I can't remember when I was taken off the air, but I wanted to tell you a few things that I've learned while being unemployed about this world. Is this the things that I've learned?
Yeah.
Am I reading a love
Amazing.
letter to?
This is music for reflection.
Yes.
All right. Well, this angers me.
The music?
Both. This is the thing that I've learned that angers me most. I know people could just tune out if they don't get it, but it angers the hell out of me, and I feel like it really says something about the country or the world that we're becoming, not just the country. So it was brought to my attention that the word literally now means there are two official definitions of the word literally now. One of them is literally, meaning it's literal, like it actually did happen. But now, the opposite of literally, figuratively, it now means the same thing. So literally can mean, yes, it actually did happen, or literally can now mean you're just sort of full of hyperbole to make your point, right?
You've sat on this for weeks. 'Cause
I have. I don't understand how. I know that the language is fluid, and I'm all for that. But how you can get to it seems to me that this is a cornerstone. When the word literally now means figuratively, it's got to be a sign of the
Oxford
apocalypse.
has recognized it, so it's done.
Oh,
It's
no.
not. It's not like it's Funk and Wagnall saying this is the change we're making.
Yeah.
Merriam-Webster.
Oh, they're giving in to everyone. I'm trying to find the story here. I have it somewhere. No, that's the ice storm that didn't happen. There's the U2's going to be on Jimmy Fallon. Anyway, I had the whole story here about how, I guess because it was on a couple of television shows that there are characters who say literally, but they really mean figuratively.
How I Met Your Mother.
A
I
show
think that's what
I've never
started
seen
it.
Great show.
It may be a great show, but it doesn't have the right to change the language. I'm not going to go on and on about this. I just want people to understand you're living in a world where literally now means figuratively, and you can do with that what you like. For me, it spells the end of everything, and I know that I probably won't be able to get that across to you right now, because Autumn, who is part of this generation of everything's relative, is looking at me like, hey, what are you old codger? Who cares? Who cares what words mean?
No, that's not true. I don't.
And you're a grammatician.
I know, grammatician. I don't
Speaking
like
of
that you
making
can
up
use.
words.
Yeah, I don't like that you can use them interchangeably.
Yes.
I think that's weird. But I also think it's just the nature of language.
No, but not on that one. It's the nature
That's
of
the only
language.
one?
No, because it's so fundamental.
Yeah.
You know, does 4 now mean 5? Hey, people,
Sometimes.
people have been saying 4 means 5, so we'll just roll along. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that the Oxford English Dictionary needs to be the leader, not the follower. No, you're wrong. Why can't you tell people you're wrong? Like people who say very unique, it drives me crazy. You can't say very unique. And everybody says very unique. Unique means one of a kind. You can't be very one of a kind. You're either one of a kind or you're not. You're just unique or you're not unique.
Well, I think the old white man who sits in the chamber for
Yeah.
Oxford
Yeah.
is progressive now. He's like the new pope, so he'll make changes. It's fine.
That's exactly what it is.
But what if it's a group of people, like a group that is unique, a unique group, but somebody in that group is the most unique among the group?
How can
That's
you be
very
more
unique.
one of a kind than somebody else? You're either one of a kind, which means there
In
isn't
comparison,
another one.
so in comparison to other people, like maybe there are 3 people and each one is an individual.
Yeah.
But this middle one is more unique than the first
No,
one, and then
no,
the last one is very different.
No.
And
One of
it's
them is
more
either
unique.
they are either unique or they're not unique.
I think you nailed it on the head when you said he's an old codger. I think that's
Thank
what we can.
I'm going to stand here
can-
like, a disgruntled Santa Claus and tell you kids that you're naughty and you're wrong. Another thing.
You're literally sitting right now. You are not standing.
Boom! Woo! Look what you did with
brought
that.
it all the way around.
Did you see what you did? Another thing that I've learned in the time that I've been off: old people are still really stupid. I've never understood how old people get scammed all the time because they're old. And I figure, if you've got more experience in life, you should be able to spot a scam artist better than somebody who's in their 30s. I read this article in Wall Street Journal on Friday, and a lot of old people are getting taken by these dating sites. So they go on christianmingle.com and they get scammed.
Well, that's the first mistake.
Well, this is from the Wall Street Journal. He told her he was a Connecticut contractor. She was a 67-year-old widow. Aww. So she's not throwing her money away. She's throwing away the money of the husband that went to the grave early because he busted his nut every night and day to make that money. After they met last year through christianmingle.com, he sent her a photo and wooed her with romantic words. 3 months into the relationship, this is where we get to the old people are still stupid, she began wiring money to help him. No. He had gone to Nigeria to oversee a project, he explained, but ran into one emergency after another, so she sent $15,000 before realizing that her suitor was a scammer. I had lost my husband of 40 years and I was looking for love.
Oh, you're so mean to her. She's so nice.
Mean to her.
I've got music for this one.
She should know better. Old people are really stupid.
I'd like to imagine, though, that she knew what was going on. I mean,
she didn't.
Well,
she's
first
67.
of all, it's
she
incredible that she was on the internet.
Yes.
Let's just give her credit for that.
Yes.
That she figured out how to start an account on the internet. She tried to sign up for Christian Mingle. She goes, I need an email address to get in here. So she went to the mailbox.
HTTP.
She's so old and stupid.
HTTP. Here's another example. San Jose, California. 66-year-old woman dipped into her retirement savings, hers. Again, the husband who's in the ground making all this money. She dipped into her retirement savings.
She didn't earn it at all. Raised her kids. Got beat every day when he got home from work because the whiskey and steak weren't ready.
No, you get
she
my
didn't earn it at all.
Money.
I don't mean that there's no value. I'm just saying that he's in an early grave probably because he was busting his nut every day.
Autumn, as soon as you have that kid, you're off the show. You're not allowed back, even if you want to come back.
66-year-old woman dipped into her retirement savings and refinanced her house to invest $500,000 in an online suitor's fictitious oil rig.
Oh, man.
The woman, who wasn't named, sent the money in allotments, ending with $200,000 transferred to a Turkish bank. It never occurred to her that this guy wouldn't be doing business through a Turkish bank.
I think an oil rig is a better investment than projects in Nigeria, so give her a little more credit.
She was actually trying to invest.
Can we look at what the real problem is here?
Yes.
Is that why are the Turks and the overseas stealing our fraud jobs?
Well,
Shouldn't we be doing this here? Why am I not on these websites scamming old people? If they're gonna do it, I might as well take it, and then I'll.
Well, you probably could. You're closer to home.
Absolutely.
If we were meaner, we would actually set up an old person and try to do this. But I don't quite have. I'm not quite that comedy minded.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Jail. It's jail.
I'm doing
That's
it.
why.
Right.
Jail. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to go to.
No, you can go to jail.
You can go to jail for someone voluntarily giving you money, and
if you
scamming them,
if you present yourself in a fraudulent light, yes, of course. Look, he's surprised. What?
No, I'm just trying to
look in his eyes.
Think of a way out of it.
He looks like he's.
How can I do this without actually getting in trouble?
And the third and final thing that
identity theft first. That's how, and then
I just present myself as someone else, whom I'm not him.
Yeah, he's right. The third and final thing that I've learned has really knocked me out is that McGruff the crime dog is a criminal. No, you know this story, right?
No,
We're kind of late on this story because we didn't have shows. But McGruff the crime dog, the voice, was sentenced to 16 years in prison yesterday for possession of not yesterday, I think it was last week, for possession of 1,000 pot plants and more than 24 weapons, including a grenade launcher.
Well, look, if you have that many pot plants, you need to have something launching things that can get people away from you.
Is my thing up here? Yeah, if I play here?
Yes.
Let's remember McGruff when he was in better times.
Are you plugged in?
Oh, I'm not plugged in. That's okay. First show weirdness.
Are we talking about the actor that was inside the McGruff costume?
He was
the voice.
McGruff was usually a cartoon character, and so it was the voice. Now I don't know. I think sometimes there are a couple commercials. I think but usually the way that they would do it is it would be a cartoon character, and he would be interacting with kids, real kids. So,
so just the guy that did the voice.
It's the guy.
Stay off of drugs.
It's the guy you
Take
hear.
a bite out
course.
of crime.
Let's remember.
That guy figured out how to scam old people. That's the same guy.
I think.
I can tell people not to do drugs, and then I will take all their drugs. That's the perfect crime.
More for me.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we can now pronounce McGruff the Crime Dog a loser if you listen to this song.
McGruff here with Regina to sing "Users Are Losers."
Is that John Cusack? That's who it sounds like.
I'm telling you it's true.
Oh my god, this song is the best.
Learning when to say no.
Say no.
That's what you need to do. Learning how to say no.
Say no.
McGruff was doing lines of blow off this female singer's
blow.
breast.
Are losers and losers are users. So don't use drugs. Don't use drugs. Winners don't use and users don't win. So don't use drugs. Don't use drugs. If you know a user even part of the time.
How long is this?
Take a bite out of crime.
Users are losers and losers are users. So don't use
use drugs.
drugs.
And help me take
Did
a
a
bite out
toddler
of
write
crime.
this song?
Yeah.
You missed the end there where he says, "Help me take a bite out of crime."
Are users. So
Don't
don't
use
use
drugs.
drugs.
And help me take a bite out of crime.
The picture of this guy, he's wearing a Superman t-shirt. I'm pretty sure we all knew this guy was a loser himself. Now, admittedly, when I was in middle school and early high school, I wore a lot of Superman paraphernalia, i.e. a Superman necklace, Superman ring.
You were a big fan.
They had the kiosk at the mall. They had like all this jewelry of Superman. I would walk by it every day, like one day.
How old?
I'm going to have the $22 necessary to get that. And then I sold drugs to buy it. So I think this all comes full circle to me.
How old were you when you stopped wearing all your Superman stuff?
29?
Oh, okay. So this
No, I was
guy's
like
obviously
middle school, high school.
Underneath his sweatshirt right now.
I used to do that. I used to wear a Superman shirt under my clothes just in case.
Ooh.
You know,
Yeah.
crime?
You maybe
Just
need
in
it.
case crime.
You maybe need it.
You never know.
Yeah, he's
How
42.
would that go down?
You know how it would go
No, if there
down.
were, you'd have to act very calmly. So
Well, no, I'd
so
have to-
there's someone being mugged, and you take off your shirt calmly.
No,
you
no,
go
no.
over.
The first step, obviously, I can't believe you didn't know this. I'd have to find a phone booth, which is the hardest part about the whole trick, which is why it never worked.
These days.
With the
'Cause there's no
door, you
phone
have to
booths.
find the ones with the doors.
Yeah, or
That's really
a
impossible.
revolving door, so I could
Oh,
spin
right.
in and out of it real quick. Anyway,
I just fantasize about beating people up like it's something I do every day. Like if
I
I
do
get in a
too.
fight, I just take them down and I walk away calmly, continue eating my
Butt it-
sandwich.
butt it
and
in
people
your
say,
shirt
"Wow, that
back up."
guy, he just must do this." On the plane once, on a plane, some guy was causing trouble, and I thought to myself, if he keeps going, I'm just going to take off my shoelace. If he tries to hijack the plane, go behind him, strangle him,
Maybe Garrett
sit
him?
back down, and continue reading. And people will look like, "Wow, that guy just
That guy was
saved
awesome.
the day, and he doesn't even want any kind of recognition for it."
What are you, Walter Mitty?
that was that was
I
how they
was
came
Walter
up.
Mitty before
No.
the Walter Mitty from the movie, not the story that came out decades ago.
You
Well,
just
no,
you
there's
just
another movie.
inadvertently read the pitch for
which
Blank
which
Man.
was a short story originally.
No, I know, but there was another movie.
I know.
So you weren't before that movie. Sorry, Michael. We stepped all over you. What were you
It's
saying?
okay. I was just that was the through line for the Wayans brothers, Blank Man. He just wanted to fight crime, and no one knew who he was.
Right.
You know, no recognition needed. But he did want to have the hot reporter, which I think we all can agree is what the reason you get into crime fighting is to bang reporters
Well,
My
it's the same
second
reason.
favorite.
Same reason you start a rock band.
or comedy.
Get laid.
Yeah, just to get laid. Yeah.
Who does better, the rock bands or the musicians or the comedians?
Definitely not the comedians.
Yeah, comedians.
It's
The
real
girls who
touch
like
and
comedy
go, yeah.
sometimes are a little heavy.
Yeah,
I
and they've
noticed.
probably already banged a couple comics. And
Yeah.
You just got to kind of follow up with that.
You can pass notes back and forth in the green room. How'd you
Notes,
like it?
STDs. It's
Tough-
whatever it is you want to pass back and forth.
Whatever.
It's really up.
I wish I'd thought about getting the Olympic theme music because that's what a good radio show would have done at this point.
Boom.
And
You know
I'm
who
stalling.
doesn't is a great
I'll just
radio
sing it in the
show.
background.
did you see the screw up at the Sochi Olympics where
I saw a couple.
the snowflake didn't turn into the ring?
Oh,
so they
of
had
course.
4 rings and then
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently on the Russian broadcast, they cut to a pre-recorded version that they
They
did
did?
during a rehearsal.
Awesome.
Yeah, it didn't work, and they just cut.
Man, they're just like
filthy Reds. They've always been like that.
Just
They
like
just
North Korea. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know.
that Vladimir Putin. He's not a good guy. Here we go. We have Jay Busby. You got that's all the build-up stuff. That's not like the.
Well, I had to jump to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, Jay Busby's on the same channel as this, so if he starts to speak, it's gonna be drowned up underneath.
Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here on our first show. Jay was on our beta show, and I thought he was really good, so I decided to have him back.
Well, I really want to thank you for this very unique opportunity. Eric. It's a pleasure.
If you had a mic, I'd cut it, sir. Hey, I was doing stuff in here trying to get ready for this first show, so I haven't watched the Olympics. I didn't watch any yesterday. Anything that happened that we should know about?
Well, the biggest story at the moment right now is that Bob Costas has been yanked off the broadcast for tonight. He's going to be, spoiler warning, which I probably should have said first, but Matt Lauer is going to take over tonight at least because Costas' red eyes have just become too much, I think, for NBC and the viewers to handle.
That's hilarious.
That Russian weed's really getting to him, though.
No, I didn't read about it. I was one of the few people who didn't know about it before I started watching, and then I saw him show up, and I thought, did he get in a fight with Putin? What happened? How did this happen? But is this a result? Did it happen to him once he got to Russia, or did he take it with him on the plane?
You think that it's something about the Russian water, some of that face-melting water that we were hearing about last week. But apparently, I mean, as best anyone knows, it's pink eye. It's not a big deal.
Right.
He may have just brought it along with him. It's not serious, but if you're on TV in front of millions of people, it becomes a little more serious.
No, I was eating my food the other day, and I looked up, and there he was. He was
I actually found the real story. He's jealous of Stuart Scott's success. So he wanted to make sure that he was like, you know what, I'm getting on that tip, dude. Like, nah, he was born with it. Nah, screw it, I'm in.
No, I don't think Stuart Scott, tell people.
Stuart Scott got hit in the eye with a football, one of those machines that doubles as the quarterback that launches
with the
football
tires.
to receivers.
Really?
Yeah.
He was doing an ESPN.
Clearly, I did
don't
my
know.
research.
This is what hold on. This may be mythology. It's what I've always believed. We have Mr. Busby. Are we right about this? Do you know about this?
You know what? I don't know. I've heard that. I've never followed through on the whole deal of that, the urban legend. But yes, I have heard that he got knocked hard and it knocked him a little bit off center there.
Yeah, well, he was doing, I think it was the New York Jets training camp, and he was doing kind of a wraparound for a report, and they had those balls shooting out of those tires. They come at you a million miles an hour, and I don't know if he just missed or if he wasn't looking, but it came out that fast, hit him right in the eye.
Okay.
That's right. That's correct. There's a whole subsection on his Wikipedia page about the eye injury.
Oh.
It was Jets minicamp.
Is the subtitle Silly Eye?
You can change it, but then that moderator will come back and 5 minutes later, how dare you touch my article?
Change it to Goofy Face.
So I'll tell you, Jay, I got to tell you, over the weekend, we'll get to, because today's the big day is Shaun White on snowboard, and everybody's waiting for that. But over the weekend, I felt, and this might have been the first night, maybe Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure, but the ice skating was going on, and I felt unpatriotic because for a little bit I got just sort of a tinge of feeling like I wasn't a good American, because I'm so sick and tired of the empowerment America. I've got such great self-esteem BS. And the American ice skater, what's her name? Ashley something or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Ashley Wagner, yes.
Yeah. Very, very beautiful lady. And I'm
She's
very
the most
talented.
elegant skeleton I've ever seen on the ice.
Beautiful woman. She, everything. But she fell down in the trials, but they put her on the team anyway. And there's a little bit of controversy there. And so they had this whole buildup where she's, well, I want to be the person that I want to be, and I'm going to go for it, and I know sometimes I choke, but I don't want to. All this drama. And then before she goes out and skates, you see her with her coach, and he's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And she's nodding. And she goes out and gives what I would say is a bit of a perfunctory performance, if I even know what perfunctory means. It sounds like it's right. Like, she hit her marks, but there was nothing special about it. There was no joy in it. So then, after all of that drama, and then she finishes it off like, man, I did it. And everybody. Then this 15-year-old Russian girl, I don't know what her name is. Let's just call her Oksana Bakuliana.
Yeah.
So she's call her Yulia.
Yeah.
Yulia Lipnitskaya.
Yeah, Yulia, that's it. So
Lipnitskaya.
this 15-year-old is up next, right? And she just has no emotions, total no nonsense. And she just goes out there and not only hits her marks, but looks like an absolute natural. And I'm thinking, now this is great. And I found myself rooting for the Russian over the U.S. skater. So I felt terrible.
Well, first of all, you've put yourself on an NSA watch list by declaring this publicly. But
I think I was already on there.
But I mean, you're right. Yulia was an unbelievably good skater. I think she's going to be one of the breakout stars, at least internationally, of these games. I mean, obviously, as Americans, we're conditioned to root for Americans above all. And one of the best things from the American side to come out of that skating was Ashley Wagner's face,
Yes.
because she got her scores, as you mentioned. They were not what she expected. She
Oh,
gives
right.
this horrified look that's straight out of the Peyton Manning playbook, and then
how
now
he
this
looks
is
normally.
BS.
Yeah, this is bullshit,
And
he said.
it was
Oh.
a lot of fun to see. But you're right. Yeah, the Russian skater was so much better.
But the Russian, more than that, there was just no drama to the Russian. She was just like, this is what I do. She wasn't, there was ice in her veins. She wasn't like, I'm 15 and I'm on the biggest stage in the world. And you knew that the American was thinking, everybody's looking. I can't mess up. And this, maybe you could say that maybe the Russian was somewhat robotic. I don't know. But
Well, what
once
about
she
the male?
skates, it's great.
Plashenko. That guy is just
he's
just
pretty
a
amazing.
badass.
He is.
But he's got this like swag about him that's completely like, hey, dude, just real quick, you're a figure skater,
Yeah.
so get your shit together.
Yeah, you wear sequins. This is what I don't understand. Is a rule? Do they have to look goofy like that and wear the sequins, or is this just something when you're in that culture?
It's one of what Mitt Romney put in the bylaws when he saved. The
He did.
Olympics.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to wear that. 'Cause I saw another guy who was Japanese, I think he was Japanese. Let's just call
one
him
of them Asian people.
Let's
Yeah,
call him
something.
Tokyo.
One of them Oriental.
Tokyo Takayama.
Yes. He had not only sequins, but he had feathers. And I thought, well, you're not trying to project, male manhood at all in any way.
I think they need to look really sleek.
Yeah, but
You know, so they have like a lot of bodysuits and mesh, and then they have to put some flair on it.
Yeah,
so
the
they put
flair is not necessary. There was an American in the couples. He dressed like in a suit on the first run with the couple. I can't remember the names. But he
What,
was
the guy
dressed,
looked like a young Beethoven?
Yeah. Why can't more people look like that? He proved that you can dance without wearing one of those bodysuits, and it looked awesome.
It's just such a whole different environment than most. I mean, they would look at say Seattle's uniforms, the Seahawks, or the neon green, and go, "Oh my
Right.
God,
Yeah.
that's an unbelievable clash. Why would you wear something like that?" It's just, but that's what's so much fun about the Olympics is for every 4 years, every 2 years, if you count both Olympics, we get to look at these sports that we know nothing about,
Yeah.
make these incredible snap judgments, and then roll with it.
That's right, because we all become experts in a second.
Exactly.
She was not tight on that triple lux or whatever. I don't even know what lux means. I have
yeah,
no
I have no
idea.
idea.
Axle I can put together because I can put it with an axle. What is a lutz or lux or whatever? What is
I'd like to pass on that. question.
nobody knows what it means.
No, yeah, it's the same thing. I learn a lot of this stuff. I mean, I'm straight American sports just like you, but
Right.
I learn as much of this stuff as I can. But I have to kind of fake my way around it, and go for the story
Absolutely.
rather than the technical precision.
Get the human drama. That's what matters, and the scores. That's all that matters to anyone. The thing about the Olympics, the summer games and the winter games, I always end up watching them. I never look forward. I never think to myself, oh, in a week the Olympics start, and that's going to be great. But it inevitably, no matter where they are or all the controversy around them, I tend to put them on as wallpaper in the background for 2 weeks, and I start watching things like curling and ice skating. I don't like the couples. I find like the individuals ice skating is more interesting. The couples, I don't know what it is about it. It sort of annoys me.
Well, and the funny thing is that after the Olympics is over, we'll have this time where everybody tries to capitalize on what happened. So they'll have ice skating coming up in March or something. When you're flipping past college basketball, you end up on that, and you're like, screw that. It's not the Olympics. I'm waiting until 2018.
After I don't know which games, which Winter Olympics. I think it was in the late '90s, maybe the early. It was. No, I think it was somewhere in the late '90s. They tried to make ice skating like a badass sport. Do you remember that, Jay?
Right.
Who was that guy? Elvis something.
Elvis Stoico,
Yeah,
it was right in the wake of the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding.
Right.
That was one of the highest ranked sporting events ever. That beat a lot of Super Bowls back in '94.
Also beat a lot of women, as it turns out.
Yeah, a lot of knees got taken out too. So yes,
should
for a
bring
brief
that
time,
back.
and then it just nosedived.
Implement a little ice hockey rules.
Contact figure skating.
Greg, see if you can find on YouTube like rock and roll ice skating. Like, what's that guy's name? Elvis, and put Elvis there because I remember a CBS special and it was like, this guy's a badass. He's an ice skater. It's like he's a rock and roll. He's changing. Ice skating is now a badass thing to watch.
Well, I'll tell you what didn't make anything badass is that Herbertus von Hohenhol. You're talking about costumes. The Mexican speed racer.
Did not see
The
him.
best.
He's got the unitard, but it looks like a mariachi costume because he wanted to.
He looks like a guy from Three Amigos.
He does. He looks like Steve Martin.
He's a pop singer also.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, look, he's done. I'll tell you what, he's done the right thing, right? He got noticed.
was
We're
he
talking
friends
about him
with?
in
Well, you know
Atlanta,
what?
Georgia, and he's a pop singer.
What he said was he wanted to have his heritage and culture represented, and I didn't know. Like, I just thought that was a Mexican restaurant thing. Like,
You thought it was American.
like nachos weren't really Mexican, but apparently.
No, they really do have mariachi style. And
Well, I just didn't think. I thought that was like, Germans. You think of lederhosen,
But you never see them in
Nobody
them.
over there wears it unless
Right.
you're in like going to some like German artifact
Yeah.
place in Germany. Sold by the guy who's never been to Germany, by the
Yes,
way.
yes.
I'm
No,
just-
this
I'm
guy-
I know people.
This guy is amazing. He's fluent in 5 languages.
Is he a pope?
He's an heir to an automotive fortune.
Not fluent in how to look.
He's friend
cool.
with Andy Warhol. He was friends with Andy Warhol.
How old is this guy?
How old is he?
He's
Andy Warhol?
55 or something. No, 54.
Wait, hold on.
Let's jump ahead here. It's him skating to Michael Jackson music.
Now, I was looking for a CBS promo for like rock and roll ice skating or something like
This
that.
is your guy, though.
Elvis?
Just skating to Michael Jackson's pretty.
Oh yeah, no, it's considered crazy rock and roll. So today, I guess the big Shaun White story is he's going to be in the half pipe, snowboarding half pipe. If he wins a gold, that'll be 3 in a row, right?
He bailed on all of his
that's
other
correct.
stuff.
And
Right.
he's going today. And spoilers for anyone that doesn't want to know, so tune away. But he has made the finals, which are coming up around noon Eastern time today.
Okay.
So he's done well so far. He did well in the preliminaries, and after all the drama initially about pulling out of the slope style event,
Yeah, now
he's
so
done very well today.
explain. So what happened there was he pulls out at the last minute of the slope style event, and he says that the course is too dangerous and he doesn't want to do it. And then some Canadian athlete started tweeting. He's afraid that he's going to lose, and that's why he pulled out. He hasn't, because everybody else is on that slope style thing, and nobody died.
He's like 100 by now. The guy's like almost 30 years old. He needs to preserve his knees.
How old is he? Is he?
He's 27.
Okay.
Might as well be quitting at this
In the
point.
Exactly.
snowboarding world. In the
Yeah.
snowboarding world. So, is there what's the real thought on that? Was there danger? I watched the slope style stuff. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there was danger. I mean, there's a danger implicit in every snowboarder.
Right, but I mean more than he would expect. I mean,
But yes, there was. I mean, there was another snowboarder who broke his collarbone and missed the Olympics. Another one. People were getting injured. It wasn't quite as apocalyptic as he was saying, but yeah, I mean, there is something to that Shaun White does not have a whole lot to gain and everything to lose from really screwing up at the Olympics. It's kind of a no-win situation, because if he doesn't win gold, he's like he's like the Denver Broncos this year. That anything less than a Super Bowl is a bust. So yeah, that, and then also the half pipe is getting a lot of complaints about its condition as well, because it's so warm over there. It's melting. It's turning the snow into a mess. So the snowboarders are throwing up a huge stink this week.
yeah. Well, that should be fun. I mean, like I'd like to hear that. The snowboarders come. Man, it's like man, like I was thinking that it was like, and they like, it's like dangerous. So I don't want to do
It's
it.
like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
It's like, wow, man. How these people get so good when they smoke that much pot, and they have to smoke that much pot, I really don't understand. So Shaun White, did he look good, or did he just barely make it into the finals?
No, he looked really, really good.
Okay,
He looked surprisingly good. Of the first 30 snowboarders on the course, 18 of them wrecked. I mean, it was a mess.
Really?
So to put out as good of a performance as he did this morning and kind of rocket himself straight into the finals later on today was really impressive. I mean, the guy, critique him, criticize him all you want. The guy is the best in the world, and he's proved it today so far to this point.
Well, a lot of snowboarders are saying he doesn't love it anymore. Look, nobody would know what the hell snowboarding was if it wasn't for this guy. So he could have the worst Olympics ever, and if you're a snowboarder, you still owe everything to him if you're making a dime off of your living, because he's the one that turned it into an event that people cared about. You mentioned the fact that the snow is not what they want, and I wanted to ask about that. Is that really bad? Because when I was watching the ski jump, once you got to the top, you can see a highway. So there's all that snow and stuff on the jump. And the top of that jump is unbelievably high. I think they showed 3 Empire State Buildings or something. So when you're at the top, there's a shot to the left, and you see a highway, and it's bone dry. Bone dry.
Yes.
Well, because they figured out how to salt their roads, unlike other cities.
No, there's
that
not
we're
even
familiar
salt.
with.
I mean, it doesn't. Sochi is more prepared in one area than Atlanta.
Surprisingly, Russia
You're
figured out how to do snow. Get
Comparing
outta here.
Atlanta cities, Olympic cities. Is it not snowing as much as they'd like? Are they having like their warmest winter in 50 years or something?
Well, put it this way: temperature right now. I just was touching base with a friend who's over there. It's about 60 degrees at this point down in the
Wow.
village.
Jesus Christ.
So that's not up in the mountains, but you know,
Right.
it's a little bit colder up in the mountains. But yeah, it's 60 degrees.
So
down
they're
in,
having to
the
make a
Winter
lot of
Village.
snow. They're having to make a lot of snow, right? They're having the snow machines
Yes,
and everything.
yes, absolutely.
The courses look. I was watching. What did I watch? That damn. They suck me into this stuff that you just sit on your couch for 2 hours. I'm watching people do this cross country skiing.
Oh, so
and
boring.
I'm like watching it, and I think, okay, well they said 4 laps. Well, I don't know how
Yeah.
big this thing is, and I'm watching about 20 minutes, and the announcer says, well, they got about an hour left. And, then, and so I sit there. I have it on as background, and this is amazing. It goes on for like an hour and a half or something, and the last minute is unbelievably exciting. They all hold their powder for an hour and 29 minutes or something so that they can pour it on at the last minute, and it actually got exciting for the last minute.
It's because they release
yeah.
the dogs at the very end. They start chasing them.
No, it's fantastic to watch these people collapse at the end of. You realize, wow, that dude just put everything he's got into it. Also, I watched the female biathlon, and I'll tell you something.
My favorite website.
I've got. I got to tell you, a lot of hot women with rifles strapped to their backs. It's a cool little sport. I'll tell you.
It's really cool.
Although,
I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
that was my, that's what I was thinking early on. Is if the South had more snow, we would be able to absolutely dominate in biathlon. I mean,
Yeah.
just cutting everybody loose in the woods with a bunch of guns and skis, we would own it.
got to go up to Helen, Georgia to train for 2 months a year. So that's the big. Is there any stories that I'm missing that we should look for today? Okay, Bob Costas will not be there. Was Matt Lauer in Russia already for the Today Show, or did they have to fly him in?
Yes, they brought him in, and as Costas put it, he's the Mariano Rivera coming in to pinch hit. I mean, Costas has been going downhill. I just wrote a story about this, just before we started up, and you can see visually kind of a progress of his decline, of it going from perfect fine eyes to the left eye to spreading to both eyes. I mean,
It's in
a
both
little
eyes?
horrifying.
It's in both eyes now. That's why you
Yeah.
can't be out there.
Oh.
Well,
Yes.
He needs to learn how to clean his hands after he makes a poopy.
I wonder.
Somebody's
now
farting
he
on
knows.
his pillow.
He is. That's a weird thing he's into.
Well, with the water over there, washing your hands actually makes them dirtier.
That's true.
As it turns out.
Yeah, that's from the media point of view, people you're talking to, Jay, is it getting better? They got there the first day. They realized they couldn't flush their toilet paper. The water was brown. Are things getting better?
Right. Yes, it has. I actually was talking to my friend and asking him for this specific reason. I was like, all right, what's it really like over there? And outside of the initial kind of media griping, and the media gripes about everything, as you know, but it seems to be it's quieter than a usual Olympics. There aren't a whole lot of kids around, which is kind of creepy in itself. But it seems to be coming along well. The attendance is not as great as they expected, but aside from the initial media problems and the snowflake, which you mentioned, there haven't been any real significant problems yet. It's just kind of a little bit more restrained.
I read an article that said, well, they didn't call it RPT, but I'll call it RPT. Some of the bad attendance apparently is because of what you would refer to as Russian people time. Apparently, there's a lot of you like that? There's a lot of
Pretty good.
there's a lot of security, obviously, and you have to go through a phalanx of security at different points to get there. And apparently, Russians do everything at the last minute. And so a lot of times when these sports start,
I tell you to start.
yes, and then boom, and so that's their explanation, anyways, is that those arenas do end up getting full, but not at first. I don't know if that's true or not.
Too
They may
busy
be covering-
drinking coffee and not giving shit about anyone.
Sochi is it difficult to get to if you're a Russian? I mean, when
It's a resort. I mean, it's like having an Olympics at Panama City. It's a long distance from any real major city. You've got to take a long way to get there. So you got to make an effort.
I think of like that train ride in Dr. Zhivago to get there. Like, they crowd everybody in there, and everybody poops in the hay for 5 days, and then they
Just Carson Daly and a bunch of underage drinkers just hanging out in Panama City. Welcome to the Olympics. Here's Blink 182 gonna screw it up for everyone.
Show me your boobs.
We should have our next. Are we ever going to get the Olympics again? Do you think? I mean, Atlanta wasn't so bad. I think Atlanta was not that terrible. I don't know why.
Minus the explosions and
Well, I mean,
Traffic.
We haven't gotten through Sochi yet. There may be an explosion or two.
hey, relax.
You know what sucks about Atlanta's legacies? We got so much grief, about it being so over commercialized when it was here, and now the Olympics are ridiculously over the top. You see that kind of stuff everywhere, but Atlanta was the first one to kind of break the seal on that commercialization.
We're
guess-
we're
I guess-
trendsetters, man. Just
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to make money. I love people who don't like commercials and they don't like what how are you going to train these people? You think it doesn't cost money? You have to set up it, and so in order to get everybody over there and make all this event happen and bring it to you in America and all that, you need sponsorship. So it may seem silly that Snickers or whatever is the official candy bar of the Olympics, but hey, if you're an athlete, you're probably hopefully getting some of that money and it helps you train.
And the flip side of that is that Montreal, not too long ago, finished paying off the 1976 Olympics.
Wow.
And Sochi will be carrying, then Russia will be carrying this debt for generations. So, and Atlanta didn't have that. Atlanta wrote it all on the back of corporate sponsors.
Right, exactly. And also, they built a whole village over there that didn't exist on swampland. And so there's 4 major hotels that didn't exist. I mean, I know there was a lot of building around the Atlanta Olympics, but before the Atlanta Olympics, there were a lot of hotel rooms and things like that. They've had to build everything in Sochi. There was nothing there before this.
I thought you were talking about Atlanta. I wouldn't classify Techwood Drive as swampland, but okay.
We built a great legacy with the village that has sunk into the ground and then the main stadium that they're ditching 15 years later. Good job, Atlanta.
Well, that's the way it's going to be. You're just naturally pessimistic about your home city, I think.
Not at all. I just think it's ridiculous that they're moving the Braves and that well, I like the fact that Georgia State had sold that village to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, you guys figured out. You're a bunch of smarty pants. Go here and figure out how to fix it.
Is it sinking?
One of the buildings is sinking.
Yeah.
Really?
When I lived there, it was like it's sinking an inch every. Someone made up an arbitrary number, like 3 inches every year it sinks.
The pyramids haven't moved.
Yeah, I know, but the
in
pyramids were worked
eons.
on for 30
Well,
years.
alien technology. We can get into that in another show.
The alien technology. But if the aliens came down, why would they build it like that? It's like kind of rudimentary.
Point to the heavens, dude. Come on. Watch Ancient Aliens.
Why wouldn't it look like the Empire State Building?
No,
if the
because they need
aliens
to mask their presence.
Oh, I
If it was
see.
too advanced, people would know it was aliens.
So create a tourist trap to mask the fact that you have a presence on Earth.
yeah,
That's
they're
a smart
capitalists
idea.
too. Those aliens. They take a cut of all of Egypt's tourism.
Who you think made PayPal? Ain't no human.
you see what happens here, Jay? We start with the Olympics and we end up with aliens building the pyramids.
You know what? You are a lot closer to the truth than you think you are, sir.
Oh, we have another believer here. So, what about the rest? We gotta let you go, but what the rest of the week? You got what's the big stuff happening at?
Well, we got the ice hockey. I think that's going to be the one that everyone wants to pay attention to. You've got the NHL players are all stepping up, and they're going to be in the games. It's the old USA, Russia, Canada kind of trifecta there going at it. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then the figure skating starts later this week. So
don't forget the curling, which
yes,
I believe is on
curling's
CNBC.
a constant presence. Yes.
Yeah.
Both when the Olympics are not happening. I
Oh,
guess
the
gotta
curling.
put it out
Is,
there.
I think it's
Yeah.
just below the NFL in America. Is the.
Absolutely.
I guess it seems weird to be talking about women's hockey, but I'm looking forward to. Don't the Canadians and the Americans really, really, really hate each other? These girls, these gals.
These teams just don't like each other, and they are the two most highly favored. I mean, they're both 1-to-1 odds almost to win the gold, and everybody else is like 18-to-1. So they're on a collision course, as they say.
Well, we look forward to it. We look forward to talking to you more as the Olympics go along. Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. How can people find you anywhere online?
The best way is on Twitter, just Jay Busby, Busbee, and then all over Yahoo. They're putting my stuff all over there these days. So
What's
would be
your
happy to have
Gmail
people.
account?
Exactly. Yeah, cell phone number, the whole bit.
We want people. These days you got to stay in touch with your audience, Jay. All right, Jay. Back to the TV and back to the coverage.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
See you, buddy.
Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. And before we get to news, I know you're just sitting there like Autumn's like, ready to do the news. But first, we have our first commercial. And you know what that first commercial is? Our first advertiser?
Tell me. I want to know all about it.
The Morning Show with EVH, which is brought to you by you.
Oh, is this where I need to grab the camera and move it?
No,
it up
we'll
to
do
the
that in the
screen.
second one. We'll do that in the second one.
Okay.
We're
we have
gonna-
some credits. We can't actually run through our
Right.
production studio. Steven's going to hold the camera up to a screen.
Right. If you go to, first of all, we have a lot of people who are helping us out. Patreon.com is a site that basically their idea is there may be people out there who want to help you with your projects. Make that easy. Make it easier for them to help you. And so if you go to patreon.com/Eric Von Radio or just search for Eric Von Radio, you'll find our page and you can help us grow. A lot of people complain about corp. Is that the right music for this? It's kind of throwing me
Love
off.
it.
I'm not really,
Too bass heavy for you?
I just think that you're into the circus sound today, and I'm not. We're not on the same page with the circus noises.
Well, those were potential theme songs for the show. That's all I have loaded up.
Hit the Driving and Crying again. Just play it low below me, and that'll work. So go to patreon.com, look for Eric Von Radio, and you will see that there are different levels that you can help us with. $10 per month, $25 a month, $50 if you can believe it. We have 5 people already. This is our first show that we haven't even been on yet. 5 people at the $100 level.
Woo!
Here's the deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
At the 100, I'll get to what's at the $100 level. We have different things, different little things that you get at different levels. At the $100 level, you become a member of the board, and we have 2 board meetings a year where you get together with me, and we eat and we drink and talk about the network, Eric Von Radio, talk about this show, talk about what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. As I've said before, there's no guarantee that I'll act on your advice, but you do get the guarantee that you have input. You can bend my ear. You can let me know what you think. And, I say that, and then now I'm terrified of the first one. For everyone who's given me money to tell me how much the show sucks, and they're really but that's not going to happen because people are very nice, and they usually don't even tell you when they hate your stuff anyway. But everybody at every level, your name will be in the credits of the show as soon as we figure out how to do that. Although, a little bit later on, we have figured out how to show you the names of all the people who have not donated, but pledged their money so far. Let's find this. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Here it is. You know what this is? You know what this is?
No, what is that?
Bank statement?
It's
This
your
is-
paycheck.
This is the first
Ooh.
check that I've gotten from Patreon.com.
Wow.
It is $646.94. And this came from people who are
Don't
watching.
I feel like you shouldn't show the account thing or like
Oh,
the.
my.
You
Is
know.
that bad?
Someone's gonna take a still shot
Definitely.
of the feed when we replay it, and they're gonna print it out and
Oh, no.
take the check into
Should
the
we-
bank,
wait a minute, I-
photocopy it,
Uh-oh.
Just show
and steal
the
your
check,
600.
Yeah.
Hey, so here it
$something.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad now because I did that. Now someone's going to screw me. Well, anyway,
No, I don't think they will. I'm just saying,
no, it's a good call.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll show you the back of it.
it's a real check.
It's a real check. And, to be serious here, I've been paid a lot of money by a lot of companies to do a lot of radio. And honestly, when I got this check, this is the most meaningful money I've ever been paid for what I do because it comes from you. It comes from the people and this is our first real show. So these are people who jumped in and made a bet. They had no idea how this was going to turn out. And, I'm going to well up in tears.
No.
But this is very, very special to me. And now we're up to almost $900. We have grander ambitions. We would like to, this is my challenge. Everyone talks about how corporate radio is ruining radio. And at the $10 level, I'm inviting you to go into business with us here. Do you have $10 a month to do something about it? I would like to get 1,000 people at $10 a month. The operating budget would be supplied by you, and that's the less that we have to worry about pleasing other people. The more money we have from Patreon site, the more independence we have, basically, and the more independence we have, I think the show is better. We are going to have some advertisers on very soon, but it always will be light, only 1 or 2. We're not going to overwhelm you. So go to patreon.com. Check it all out. The different levels tell you the different stuff you get.
How do you spell Patreon?
Patreon.com. And help us out if you can. But if you can't help us out, that's cool too, because everything's always going to be free for everybody. But if you want to put a little skin in the game and be part of this operating budget, we have different goals that we'd like to get to. And I want to upgrade the equipment. You may notice that the quality of the video, for instance, is a little milky. It costs a lot of money to get up on that platform on a daily basis to have the best HD. I'd like to have the best HD. I'd like to have a compressor. I'd like to have better sound. I'd like to be able to hire a few more people.
I'd like to have better hosts, co-hosts.
Yes, I could actually get rid of these people who are just cheap as dirt and will do anything.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about your future, sir. So go to patreon.com, and if it's something I don't even want to say help us out. If it's something you want to get involved with, then get involved with us. And if we get 1,000 people at $10, I'm going to throw the biggest party at a really cool restaurant somewhere, and we're all going to get to know each other.
Blow
because
all that money.
Cheesecake
Exactly.
Factory. The Cheesecake Factory. Here we
Yeah.
come.
Yes,
The
exactly.
coolest restaurant in town.
And the best tasting. Hello, new sponsor, Cheesecake Factory.
My dream is that Eric Von Radio becomes a community of like-minded people who enjoy good fun. It's the good fun community. Patreon.com. Please check it out and go ahead and give us something if you can. And that's our commercial.
You did it.
That's when
First one.
That's the first one. No, it was
Nice.
easy. I know the product very well. So Autumn, what's in the news? That's news soundy.
Breaking news. Weather 2014 round 2 snowpocalypse. Ice on the roads. Stay inside.
Is it true? I haven't even been outside yet, but you guys made it here. We were worried about whether or not you guys could make it on the
Yeah.
first show.
I
It
put
was-
the air conditioning on in my car this morning.
It was that
I mean,
good.
it was
No.
that warm out.
Really?
No.
Crazy. I was like, what? No, it's
Michael's.
Autumn will buy
Sorry.
anything.
She's very,
Sorry.
very, very gullible. So no, is it supposed to? Is it a letdown yet? My kid's out of school today and tomorrow. Is it a letdown yet, or is there more to come that's
I
supposed
think
to be
there's more
worse?
to come. Well, on the way in, I don't know if you saw that there was sleet. I guess it was. Sorry, I know. I can't get around this microphone.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Most
Okay.
people are just going to listen.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was sleeting. So I guess if the temperature gets cold enough through the day, then it will ice. But
Okay.
otherwise, it's supposed to happen overnight tonight because the roads are gonna be wet and it's gonna continue to rain and then
Right.
it's gonna get cold.
Is this you guys your way of telling me you're not going to be here tomorrow? This is our first week, and
It's
I feel like
supposed to be
people are really
inches.
setting me up. What's supposed to be
I'm out.
inches?
I have things to do tonight. I'm done.
Oh, so should we just have a? You know what? Would it be hilarious if we played a best of and it was just this show again? This is the best work we've done up to this point, and we have a snow day on
Yep.
day 2. No, I want to take this opportunity to let everyone in this room know that you are immediately fired if you don't make it in tomorrow. So figure it out. We got hotel rooms right down the street there, but I'm not going to put up with this sort of
You
nonsense.
just follow me on Twitter. That's where you'll find me for the rest of this show because I won't be here.
Yeah.
No one will show up. It'll just be you
Yeah.
I know.
tomorrow.
I know. And
I
then
know you have.
Hey,
some-
put
Screw
your
that
name
guy.
on
Let
it,
him
dude.
fire us.
It's your name. You pick it up.
so it's not anything yet, but it can still turn into something.
Yeah, it's weird. Today
So my son got a day off for
I-
nothing.
They're preemptive, right? They're trying to
Right.
avoid the kids
Doing
being
what they did
stuck
last
on the
time.
buses and in the schools. So they're freaking out a little bit. But so
They're
they
trying to
prob-
avoid doing what they didn't do the first time.
Right. So I think what they probably could have done was have school today and have normal business, whatever today. But then tomorrow, maybe
Right.
think about it.
Is it going to hit during drive time going home, or I don't know?
No, I think it's supposed to happen overnight.
They're
tonight.
talking about doing half days, but I remember in school when they did half days because of weather, you got nothing done.
No.
All you did, you just ate your lunch early, and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone still had to get fed because those are the rules.
Right.
And like you spend the entire day just eating and then just talking about how much you. I don't care. I'm
My
here,
wife
I
said
don't
my
give a shit.
16-year-old. I got to get used to that. He's 16 now. I'm so used to saying 15-year-old. My 16-year-old was. My wife said, "Well, you know what? You're going to have to do makeup days at the end of the year." And he's like, "You don't do anything on makeup days. They show up. They show us a movie. You know, it's not. He doesn't care if there's like 3 extra days at the end of the year where they go and watch movies. It's not like there's going to be a math exam on the makeup day. So they just do it because they have to. The schools have to have the kids in school a certain set number of days a year.
That's weird. Why wouldn't they have well, we're gonna push our test to that day or something? You know? Why wouldn't they have
Because
that?
it's at the end of the year. It's like a soccer game after it's like the penalty time. It's just so they don't know it's coming, and so they plan it all out. The only reason they have you there is to legally keep their charter,
Right.
and they have to have kids in the school for that number of
The
days.
local news this morning was talking about how the crippling snow, and their close-up of the snow was on the ground, and you could still see mostly grass. It's the most embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you thought it was embarrassing how badly we responded this time, now the news this morning is like, you can feel the moisture in the snow. It is very wet. It's like, oh, you're also an idiot, and I'm from Pennsylvania now.
Yeah,
I'm
well
just gonna
now,
tell
well,
people
now you've
I'm
got
from-
the news stations who have had everybody, and they're on it. And when you're paying reporters to be there, their job is to make up a story if there isn't one. You're not
Yeah.
paying them to be there for nothing. So I love when they go out my favorite thing with reporters is when they go out on the scene. This is not this story, but anytime they go out and like there was a murder 12 hours ago, and they go and they stand like in the hospital parking lot to do the report because we're so much closer to the story. And he was just let go about 4 hours ago, but I'm standing in the parking lot of the hospital that he was in many hours ago.
What was the story? I can't remember the details. Maybe it's stupid to bring up, but you saw it too. There was the reporter doing a story, sitting in the car, and rolled down the window, and it was something about.
It was about keeping your pets in the. It was they had the summer thermometer inside the car,
But
right?
they just went out to the parking lot. At like WSB and just sat
You
out
could
there.
see the building. It was 11 Alive. This is a few years ago. You could see the 11 Alive building in the background. He's like, let's go to so-and-so. And he's in the parking lot in his car.
We really need you on location. So he just goes out
Here's
to
the
the
worst
parking
part
lot.
about that story. He still had that really stupid delay. Let's go out to Steve in the
yeah,
parking lot.
Yes.
Thanks, Mike. I'm out in the car.
Thanks, Mike. I am literally on my way home right now. I used that word incorrectly. Call back.
You know what? I think it's hilarious. I just think reporters basically make on days like this. You can see how it's so obvious today when a reporter is outside trying to tell you that it's cold and scary when it's not, that they're making it up. But when they're talking about things that you don't know so well, I think it's good to assume they're making that up just as much.
Right.
You know, if they're, no matter what they're talking about, they're just making it up.
You just can't trust them.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. Well,
You
I don't
can't trust
why-
the news. Stop saying such crazy things.
Well, that's always their pitch, though. You can trust us. We're on your side. I don't
Yeah.
want you to be on my side. I want to know, what time the sun is going to rise.
I do
We're
love
on
those.
your side.
I do love those reports though when they go to like car dealerships and they say like this guy's rolling back the
the
mileage.
the
you know, and-
consumer guy.
Yeah, those are the best.
There's the one that was like Hunchback. Is he still around? I mean, he's a good guy. Don't get me wrong.
Hunchback.
He's the older consumer guy. I think he was
First
at
of all,
11.
his name is Clark Howard.
No,
and second
no.
of all, he has a debilitating disease. And you've
I
been,
can't remember. Bill
you've just
something.
been Clarkified.
Yeah, I don't know.
We used to call him the helpful Hunchback because he would go out and
To his
do
face.
consumer reports.
The rudest group of broadcasters ever. Where you going, Hunchback? You going to go check out the health scores down at the Chinese restaurants? Here's a hint: they all suck.
Yeah, I know. That's the go-to. Whenever you see the health scores, they just
Yeah.
had nothing else going on. You could go out. You could do 8 restaurants. You're gonna find somebody who's got a 42 or a roach in the kitchen.
Gwinnett County just shut down when they found out the Cheesecake Factory scored like a 50 a couple of weeks ago. It's like, here's the thing, guys. If you're going to Cheesecake Factory, you don't care about quality anyway. It's all bagged food.
Did you?
Were
did
the
you
microwaves dirty? Like that's the only thing that could possibly have been wrong.
Did you see the Golden Corral video?
No.
It was
the worst.
a cook that worked there, and he said when the inspectors would come that they would take a bunch of the food and put it out by the dumpster. I guess because it wasn't being stored properly.
Right. It probably wasn't right temperature.
Right, but they just
Good
put, like,
move, Golden Corral. Stored by the dumpsters. That'll trick them.
I know, and they were just stacked up like patties of
Right.
hamburgers and like
Don't stop
big
me
ribs.
from eating that Golden Corral water fountain of chocolate.
What was that?
Oh,
What's that
those-
called? The
Oh,
something
that's
triple
disgusting.
fountain yum.
That's
I love that
disgusting.
name.
There's got to be Band-Aids in there and fingernails that
Yeah,
have come
like,
off.
is there
Exactly.
is there a sneeze guard over that thing?
No.
I've never even been in one. It's just this
You just
flowing-
walk up, you put your hand, if you want to dip your hand in it and just lick your fingers, you can do that.
I'm sure little kids do that.
I'll tell you right now, I've never tasted Band-Aids in that water.
That is a
chocolate
booger fountain. If there are kids around there, that is a booger fountain.
I tried to go to Golden Corral for Thanksgiving
Yeah?
this
Oh, yeah.
year with
Oh,
my
that's-
sister.
you
'Cause
must-
me and my little sister were the only ones left in town.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was disappointed because the line was too long. It wrapped around the building.
That means
to
for
get in.
somebody, it's a Thanksgiving tradition. For some families, it's a
Oh.
Golden Corral.
Well, $12.99 all you can eat. We left, went somewhere else, came back. Didn't mean to turn this into a Golden Corral discussion.
That's
we
all right.
left and came back, and the line had now doubled itself around the building. And there was this is a true story, an ambulance at the front of the the restaurant,
Yeah.
and stretchering somebody out of Golden Corral. And that's not the worst part of the story. People were still in line.
Oh, more than that. I think
People
you're
were
jockeying. Like,
Well,
oh,
they
there's
were
a
like-
table.
You're like, what is that? Was that a 4-top? Can we go ahead and get that, or what's the plan? Can we jump on dead guy's cart?
We only talked about one story, but I want to get to. We had another death. We had another.
I know Shirley Temple.
Does anybody here even know who Shirley Temple is?
I loved Shirley Temple. I know we all probably
Was it
loved
just
her.
is it
from,
Sprite and grenadine?
Yeah.
Yeah, not the drink.
I
the
don't
actual
know.
Shirley Temple,
know.
Yeah, she-
child star of the 30s.
Yeah, adorable. She died at
I-
85.
I gotta tell you, man.
Shirley Temple Black, by the way. She was
Shirley Temple
married,
Black, that's
so
right.
let's
It says
get
on
to
here
get
that
it
she's
together.
known to her friends as Shirley Temple Black.
Well, we're not her friends, so we can call her Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Well, she was back in the time when it was called Shirley Temple Blackface. That was a whole different.
That's why
genre
she
of
retired.
entertainment.
Actually,
Yeah,
it was out
exactly.
of shame. Really,
Right.
times changed. Just changed right underneath her, right there. Al Jolson had died, and she just kind of picked it up. But Shirley Temple, you hear this joke an awful lot. Honestly, honest to God, I came down here this morning about 7 o'clock, turned on the internets, and I swear to you, I did not know she was alive up
Yeah.
to this point. I just
Definitely.
assumed that Shirley Temple was long since gone. Here's one of her big moments.
This is the Candyland hour for all good children.
Candyland.
All
The
good
orchestra
children.
will play our theme song.
It's a
You know that
train
song,
they're on.
don't you?
What?
No, they're on a
Well, then sing
plane.
it. Come on.
Oh.
Come on, Charlie, sing it.
That's right. This is like the.
I've thrown away my toys, even my drum and train.
She always does this through her
To
arms.
make some
Yeah.
noise.
How old is she here? Is she like 4 or 5?
Four or
Yeah.
five.
Someday I'm going to fly.
Yes.
I'll be a pilot too.
I feel like we could all talk like her if we just push our lips
You just
together.
push your lips.
Yeah.
Like to be
All right, here comes the chorus. Here we go. I think.
on the good ship. Lollipop, it's a sweet trip.
Is it weird that this sounds black and white?
This is color, but it might be colorized.
Yeah.
First of all, it's blackface eyes. Don't call it colored. That's insensitive.
Also,
They're on
this,
are they on a plane? Because I'm
Yes.
seeing trees going by them.
they're like just taking a ride on this plane, and they're gonna come back and let everybody back
At
off.
15 feet above the ground. Up to
Yeah, no, just like rolling.
Oh,
down.
it's rolling down the
Yeah.
runway. Okay.
The,
I-
it's-
Wright brothers music video. That's how old she was.
It's filled with men, and
Yeah.
they're all, and she's just like
They're
going down the
ogling
plane.
her,
It's
yeah.
really weird. It's really weird.
I-
Oh,
so she's a big Republican, and she was an ambassador at these recently.
Yeah,
and
for
under-
Ghana and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Ghana,
So,
yeah. What?
yeah.
Yep, she had the
I think
Ghana.
they all had it back then.
21 years old. Ooh, she's 21 years
Ouch.
old. She these pop filters. Come on, man. I thought I could say that. 21 years old. She retired.
Right.
And the reason is because she grew up she in the 30s. There's a couple of years there where she was the biggest box office draw, and she became a teenager, turned 21. She kept doing movies. I've seen her 16, 17,
Yeah,
18.
yeah.
But the as soon as she grew up, she didn't grow up ugly or anything. She looked fine, but I mean, the audience was like, no, we don't want that, and they stopped
Are
going.
you sure it was the audience? I thought
Yeah,
it was
no, I
her.
think it dropped off. Well, she's at 21. She said, "Okay, I'm done,"
Yeah.
and she went on to her other life. She was married to this guy, whatever his name is, Black, for 50
Black.
years. He just died not too long
Mr.
ago.
Black.
Mr. Black, and
She got that Haley Joel Osment syndrome.
so
Have you seen him lately? It's exactly the same, just with abs.
he's got a big head or something.
He's got a giant head and just abs.
So for people of my generation, even that's not even really of my generation, I saw the reruns and stuff when I was growing up in the 70s. Apparently, this was either public domain or really cheap because in the 70s on Saturday morning somewhere, there was a Shirley Temple or a Tarzan movie on because they were the cheapest things to run. So I would watch Tarzan, and I was really into Johnny Weissmuller as Tarzan. And then Shirley Temple would come on after it. This is when I lived in Memphis in like 1973. Shirley Temple would come on after it, and I could stick through about 40 minutes, and then I would, okay, that's enough for me. It was
What about the Little
like
Princess?
Tarzan
Didn't
for
you
the
guys
boys.
love that? Didn't you love Little Princess?
I don't know if I've ever
As a little
seen-
girl, didn't you love that movie?
Yes, as a little girl, I absolutely loved it. I don't know that I've actually seen one of her movies all the way through. I've just seen parts of them, I think. There's one where
Love
she's
it.
dancing with that guy, Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles.
Dance. I don't know who Mr. Bojangle. I only know
The
the
guy
chicken
in that song.
and that song.
He got
Well, that
that
song. He's the guy in
Yeah.
that song.
He got that chicken restaurant, right?
Yeah, that's
She
it.
danced with him down some steps. You've seen the
Yeah.
the black
Oh, where
guy
he's
is-
like, I'll teach you the steps. And
Yeah,
then
they
they
go down
both know
the-
it immediately.
Yes,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Teach you the
amazing.
boogie
At 4 or
woogie.
5 years old, that she could actually take direction and
Definitely.
do this.
And that she didn't
steal
turn out
scenes.
terrible.
She didn't want to
you
get
know?
beat. That's why.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Apparently, her mother was always on set and was very made sure that she stayed grounded, right?
Oh, that's
and she was on set one time, and
Grounded
apparently,
with the hands around her throat.
well, apparently, a
Stay on the ground.
director needed Shirley Temple to cry in a scene, and he scared the hell out of her. And so the mom finds out about this, and then she was never not on the set again. to protect her little darling.
They did that a lot back then. They told little kid actors like, "Your
dad's-
dog is dead," and then like they'll go around and like, "Here's your dog," and then they'll go around the corner and shoot the gun in the air like
Right.
they shot his dog. You know,
It's funny.
What?
it's true. That's true.
Just some bold allegations.
It's
on your
very
part.
difficult.
It's your
to
job.
saw a
If you're a
documentary.
director, it's your
Yeah.
job to get the best performance out
That's
of your
right.
actors.
That's right. And 4-year-olds, it's hard to get them to emote. I'm sorry. It's hard to get them to cry on
know,
cue.
they're really
So you got to
terrible,
do
really.
something.
Really, all I have to do is just show up to my sister's house and hear kids cry.
It's a career for you on movie
Pretty
sets.
easy for me, yeah.
Children movie sets. You just
He
come out
just get
from
to cry.
behind the
Colin,
curtain.
fat boy. Hey kids! Ah!
I don't want to destroy your news, but do you have the Lawrence Fishburne thing, the Samuel L. Jackson?
You even messed
I've
it
got
up.
this. Yeah, I know. Even yeah. Well, it's the Lawrence Fishburne thing, the Lawrence Fishburne incident. So Samuel L. Jackson is out there, and what's the movie that he's pushing?
Something real good, probably.
Yeah.
I'll see it in the background here. But this guy that is interviewing him, he was a friend of mine in Los Angeles. I think his name is Fred Rubin, is it, or something Rubin?
This humble brag brought to you by.
No. I mean, he's not. He's
It's a friend of mine.
He's an entertainment reporter for KTLA. It's not like saying I know Bruce Springsteen, but it's funny to me because he's actually a pretty good guy.
I know Steven Van Zandt. He
Yeah,
lives
look
a
at
block and a half away. He walks his little dog. It's a little
Who
puffy
is Steven
thing.
Van Zandt?
Oh my God!
Wow.
All right, just keep on moving.
Oh no.
She's a girl.
Microphone off for 5 minutes.
That's my punishment.
He plays in a band called the E Street Band, and he was also on The Sopranos for a number of years.
Oh,
currently
I
in
know that guy. He's
Netflix
bald, but he wears the
original
cool wig
Lilyhammer.
on
Yeah.
Sopranos. Psh,
It
I know
tied
who
into
that is.
Springsteen. That's the point. That's why.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry. I know. I just need. I needed some clarity.
So Samuel L. Jackson shows up at for one. It's one of these things where he's going to talk to 1 million people in a day about this movie, and the reporter mistakes him for Lawrence Fishburne. Apparently,
Right.
Did you get a lot of reaction to that Super Bowl commercial?
What Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, you know what? I've been my mistake. You know
See what? See, you're as crazy as the people on Twitter.
Right.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
That's my fault. I know that. That was my fault. My mistake. You know what?
We don't all look alike.
Fuck, you're
We may
exactly
be
right.
all black and famous.
You
but
are
we all don't look
guilty.
alike.
I am guilty.
You're busted.
I am guilty. He thought you were Bob Dylan. Right. That's right.
You're the entertainment reporter.
I know. I've done
You're
them
the
all.
entertainment reporter
Right.
for this station.
Flog.
And you don't know the difference between
I
me and
know.
Lawrence Fishburne.
there you go.
You know he wanted to drop the N word right after that. He goes, "I am not Lawrence Fishburne," and then
Yeah.
that's where he would bomb.
I feel bad for this guy. He said that he apologized a bunch and then he was like he slapped himself in
Yeah,
the
he did.
face.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
oh God. He was
Yeah.
freaking out, I bet.
But Samuel L. Jackson wasn't letting him off the hook. He was trying to joke and kind of go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson apparently had enough of it. So
I mean, enough of it his whole career. Ain't you that black guy from that thing where black guy does black guy
I
stuff?
think of Lawrence Fishburne as less of an A-lister than Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, he's an A-lister, but I mean, he's got
What
the
a
Matrix and
racist.
everything.
Why is that racist?
He's less of a person because of his skin tone. Is that what you meant to say?
That is not what I meant to say. So there you go. I
Yeah.
don't know, but well, you know what? It shows you how much these reporters actually take the time to figure out what they're doing before they actually talk.
You
like
know-
this Jay Busby we just had on. I have no idea about him. I just
Son of a
rolled with
bitch,
it. You
that
know.
guy is.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
Thought he
this
was
guy.
Peter
I mean,
King.
it's one of those things, I bet, where you're feeling super confident and you ask this question and then a train hits you in the face and you're just, I can't believe I messed up on such a big scale,
Yeah.
in front of everyone. He's probably replaying it in his mind as he goes to bed every night. Like,
His face
can't
was
believe I
brilliant
messed
when
this
he
up.
goes, "Which Super Bowl commercial?" He just like,
Yeah, like, oh,
his face just looked like,
No, you know, I've done it before. I've been.
Yeah.
Here's the greatest. No, you want to know the greatest? When I was on the Regular Guys, you ever hear that show? It was a real big show.
the regular.
Before it started to suck, it was a really, really good show.
zing.
Yeah, no, huh? Really? Pow! He's not over it.
Obsessed much? What was it? Just most of your career on one?
So we had. I'm going to forget the name of the guy now, but he was a Buffalo Bill, and then he was an Atlanta Falcon.
Put the lotion.
And he was not that Buffalo Bill. He was a Bill, and then he was a Falcon defensive player. God, I can't remember his name right now. I want to say Kyle or whatever. But anyway, we had him in, the season previous, and he was a player on the Atlanta Falcons, and we talked to him. So then the next season comes along, about halfway through the season, we have him in again. There was some big loss or whatever, and we talked to him about the Falcons, and we're asking him questions about the game and what was Matt Ryan like and whatever. And halfway through the interview, he looks at us and goes, "You guys realize I don't play football anymore, right?" Everyone in the room was so cool. Oh yeah, but you did, and so we figure you would know, what it would be like. That nobody admitted on air, but you had an entire room full of people, 6-7 weeks into the season, who just went into this interview believing that this guy still played for the Atlanta Falcons, and he had retired. He didn't play for anybody at the time.
I have an embarrassing Steven Van Zandt story.
Is everything revolving around Steven Van Zandt?
No, a celebrity I encounter.
Always.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper sometimes. He lives the other direction. He has boy toys on his arm now.
I know. That's what I hear.
Steven Van Zandt at a local bowling alley. I wasn't interviewing him, but I was eating food on a table. I thought it was a buffet. And I said, yeah, this is good, this food. He's like, that's actually my food.
Oh.
I was at speaking of celebrity stories, I was at an Orlando Magic game in Orlando, as it turns out.
Well, they do play on the road. So
I had floor seats, not to brag. 4 seats down was Tiger Woods. This is pre him being my favorite person ever.
Yeah.
And
before the scandal, when you started liking him.
Yeah, then
right?
I started actually liking him. But they under the
He disrespects women. I'm a fan.
I had a client that got me these seats, and we went like under the arena. There's like a super VIP that I had access to somehow, and I was in line at this buffet. It was like a real nice, classy buffet, and I just
hold on. Can I stop you a second? Every one of your stories seems to revolve around a buffet, but we'll leave that out. Go ahead.
Is that a shock?
I
didn't get this big on accident. There was a guy walked up behind me, and I was at the plates, and I was like, oh, and I handed him a plate, and as I'm handing it was Tiger Woods. He goes, oh, thanks, man. I'm out.
Wow. Wow. Can I just say,
Steven Van Zandt, Tiger Woods, I think we just capped it off on the best celebrity stories ever.
You touched Whoopi Goldberg's hair.
I did.
Well, I thought you were going to say something else.
Very quickly.
I did kiss somebody.
Who?
Jim Florentine.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Oh.
I know.
What are you going to kiss me, stupid?
I kissed that girl from American Idol season 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She had the cool hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the purple hair.
Oh, you made out with her.
Yeah. Oh, why is that okay? Why is that? Oh,
Well,
great.
wait,
Good
I'm
job.
gonna-
Oh, gross. You kissed a comedian.
Well, Jim
Disgusting.
Florentine.
That is
I like Jim
disgusting.
Florentine.
It
Jim
wasn't
Florentine's
because
one of
we
my
were
favorite
making out.
comics
It was
of
just
all
like,
time.
let's kiss, blah. And then we had a
Okay.
little tongue, and then I was like, oh, I'm in over my head. I'm out of this.
I wasn't really trying.
like Jersey.
I wasn't trying to trump your story. I was trying
it's
to
all right.
say I have never made out with anyone that famous, and you have.
Right.
But they took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
They undermined you. Not
They
me.
did. No, Greg,
I
we're
respect
cool.
you.
We're cool. I respect you, too.
Hit that
Thank
news
you.
sounder because we're done with the news. Oh, wow, we're going to come back.
We're coming back for news, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to come
Yeah.
back for a little bit of news.
Yeah.
Again, I just told you about Patreon.com, and I'm very quickly going to tell you about that again. Go to Patreon.com, Eric Von Radio, and you have the opportunity to help us fund this operation. We have big dreams. We'd like to get a permanent studio outside of this basement and do all kinds of wonderful things. And with you as an investor, we can do those things. I want to go in business with you. If you're bitching about radio, you don't like the way radio is, do you got $10 a month to do something about it? Well, if you do, one of the perks that you have at every level is that you will be included in the credits of the show, every show, no matter how many we get, every show. So,
Oh, wait, it's time for this?
yeah, we can't quite figure out how to put the credits on the end of the
Let
show
me switch.
yet.
Hold on, let me switch. Okay.
Yeah, so
Keep going.
what we're going to do is we have him pick up that camera. Can you take a pee? You got to go really bad? But I mean, we're only on for like another 15 minutes. Wouldn't it be funny if you had to hold it? I think it'd be great. Can we see that?
Yeah, it's shaky.
Let's see if we can see. I'll say them. Thank you to our Patreons. Board members. Those are your board members right there. Can you see that? And then you got your producers. All of these people.
Daniel Sage.
All of these people are in business with me to try to make radio cool again. And the point is, at any level from $10 a month to $100 a month, at some point we're going to figure out how to tack that to the end of the show. And if we get to a point where we have 500 supporters at the end of every show, we will have your name in the credits. So there you go. Should I do it one more time for him? Now you're just showing the YouTube thing. That's all right. I don't want to do it one more time. We don't have much time.
Okay, you're back. The camera's on you again.
Oh, okay, very good. Did we lose anything there? Was there a problem? Did the
No,
camera go
I
out?
think-
Or
I
anything?
think it's good.
The wire on that camera is kind of shaky, so we didn't know if we were going to make it through that. So that's that for that. Patreon.com. What?
I think it was a good show up until that point.
Why we had to do it? Because I promised people that if they gave money, they were going to get it. So
No, I like it.
The shaky handheld camera for the
Yeah.
credits. That's going to have to be the thing. People are going to actually look forward.
it is kind of shaky. You know what it looks like? It looks like when somebody puts something on YouTube, but they don't grab it off the TV. They just shoot their TV. You see those that's what it looks like. I like that close up of me there. It's very nice.
Yep, it was good.
So it's very exciting around here because not only is this the debut today of let me put the right thing back over there. Not only is it the debut today of this show, the morning show with EVH, tomorrow on television, it's not his television debut because he's an actor and all that kind of stuff, but he's got a big deal coming up tomorrow. Michael Albanese, tell people what's going on.
Tomorrow at noon, I believe, on your local Fox affiliate. That
would be 5, wouldn't it?
Here, correct, but
Right.
this is worldwide.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what it is in Hong Kong. We have one listener in Hong Kong.
Do we really?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I'm going to be on Judge Alex. This is my daytime television debut.
You have not been on daytime television before?
I've been on some reruns of stuff, but this is like the first premiere on daytime television.
And
I'm in a couple soap operas, no big deal.
And so you had a case before Judge Alex.
I did have
and
a
this
case.
was a real case.
Absolutely. Of course it is.
Why would you
Everything's
even
real.
ask that
Everything's
question?
real. Everything is very
I don't.
real.
What I mean is, you really felt like you were at wit's end, and we got to do something. Let's let somebody else arbitrate this.
Absolutely, 100% completely true story. That was a radio wink. I don't know if you could do that. It was. I have an event that I do every year. I have a business, not to plug, but called Beard Bars. It's a shampoo and conditioning and product line for men with beards.
Yeah,
Yes.
I use it.
You use it, do you now?
Use it a little lower.
Oh, really? So work on the.
Downstairs beard.
I would like to try to find the video. Of that.
Well,
but,
I can set it up. So yeah, I brought a case. So I do this thing called Battle of the Beards. It's a big
How'd it go this
competition
year?
every year. It was awesome.
Just a few
Sold
years.
out, crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
cool.
awesome. And so I promoter that I hired for not this past year's but the year before, paid him a bunch of money, and he kind of bailed on me completely. And I just was kind of scanning the internet. Did I say scanning or scamming the internet?
I don't know which
I was
one.
Scanning the internet.
He bailed on you, so you gave him the money.
I gave him the cash up front like a dummy.
Right.
And he.
What was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to be the promoter, sell tickets, get the
Right.
word out, and he was supposed to do all of my legwork so I can focus on producing the show. And so I took him to court on Judge Alex.
And we are still trying to find the promo.
Yeah,
actually,
it's
but
on my Facebook page if you check it, if you look it out.
Yeah, Greg, I sent it
Facebook.com/Big Ben
to-
Mike. Big
So
Ben Mike.
while we're looking for that, when you do one of these judge shows, I'm interested to know how does this work? Now, you went out to Los Angeles. They fly you out there.
Flew me out, put me up in a nice hotel right at Hollywood and Vine, I think. It was right like where Mann's Chinese Theater is, which was kind of cool. It was a nice-ish hotel, but it was still pretty fun. Like I could walk to all the creepy tourist stuff and gave me some dough to spend when I was out there. And
So how much did they give you? What's your per diem?
I think it was like $100.
All right.
But the cool thing is about these shows, these judge shows, if you win your case, so let's say that I'm suing you, and you lose and I win,
Right.
the production company, the show
Foreshadowing.
pays what you owe
Right.
me on your behalf. So it's actually a really good benefit.
If you
And
lose,
someone-
you win because
Correct,
you're not out of the money.
and then it's settled because it's an
it's all
actual
small
court,
claims.
Yeah,
and
it's
up
an
to like
actual court case.
$10,000 or something.
Yeah, it's an
Right.
actual legal
Right,
thing.
binding.
And, yeah, so that's how they get people on the show. Is like, I'm not going on TV. You can sue me. It's like, well, we'll pay it if you lose. Like,
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, then absolutely. Let's
You just
get
have to
this
look like a
taken care of.
dummy for a while.
Absolutely.
And then it's fine. So when you get there, do they put you in the same green room as the guy that you're against, or do they separate you?
I
or how does
never,
what
I
happens
never
there?
saw him. Never once did I see him. Different hotel, I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see him until we were like, he was introduced first, like when you walk through the doors. When
Right.
that was real. Like we walked through, and it was like,
Right.
oh my God, we're here. And then Judge Alex came out, and then that's the first time I'd seen him.
So when you're standing out before the door opens, that's the first time you see each other. You're both standing out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And I thought it was gonna be like a dry run or like a practice because it's TV. I'm like, it's gonna be TV. And they put me like on the set behind these because it's in a studio. We were right next to Russell Brand's TV show.
Oh.
Which is great. And then Let's Make a Deal was next door, so it's a set.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I didn't know Russell Brand had a TV show.
He did.
Oh, this is a few months ago. So it plays now.
This is like almost a year, close to a year ago.
And you can't tell us who wins or loses. I'm sure there's a contract on that
No,
because people want to watch.
You gotta wait till Wednesday.
So Wednesday at noon. Here's the promo for it, if I believe we have it there.
Today on Judge Alex.
Judge Alex.
When Michael hired Phil to promote his event, things got a bit hairy.
Get it?
The event that I run, it's called the Battle of the Beards. It's a big beard and mustache competition. I had a certain budget that I was able to spend, and when we talked about everything that I wanted to do, what I could come up with was $4,000. And from that point, it was like we fell off the face of the earth.
But now that Michael wants his money back, Phil is having none of it.
I did my best, man. I worked a lot, I really did. I don't know why they think it's funny, but it's true, I really did.
Today, Judge Alex wonders how one litigant made it this far.
You know how procreation works, right?
No.
You know that there's like a million sperm that go swimming towards that one egg, competing to see which one can fertilize that egg?
Yeah.
I am amazed that yours won.
Yeah.
Boom. Hey.
As a
Burned
cop,
him.
he stood up for the law. As a trial lawyer.
Oh, no, we don't need to know the next guy. We don't care about him.
I want to
He's not
know.
on
No,
the show.
that's
No, that's
Judge
the
Alex's
backstory.
backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what is Judge Alex? Because
He was
He was a
cop.
trial lawyer. He stood up for the law.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he was a cop too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a police officer.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I
That's
cannot.
would
No,
spoil
come
it.
on.
Do they do,
I'm under contract. It's
they
just
do-
he's still.
So.
I don't know why that's happening. Are we still on? Make it to an hour and 12 problem all of a sudden.
Keep going. I
Something.
think that was Chrome crashing.
Oh.
It couldn't handle
Judge Alex. And
Chrome doesn't like Judge Alex's no nonsense
Judge Alex,
approach.
Jerome was as nervous as I was presenting in front of Judge Alex.
how many judges shows are there now?
Oh, there's a lot.
4 or 5, I think.
I think it has something to do with the unemployment rate. I think the higher the unemployment rate, the more judge shows. Because, when I was a kid, where all these judge shows were game shows. And I guess they're not popular because they were cheap to do. And literally, like starting at 9 o'clock in the morning till soap opera time.
After Price is Right.
You'd have game shows in the 70s. It was fantastic. Alex Trebek and High Rollers.
Right.
All the great stuff. Wheel of Fortune started during the day with Chuck with Woolery, I think. And and then I would know it was time to go out to play because when the first soap opera came on,
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
it's
okay,
over.
boring.
Well, they're
Time to go
on
outside to play.
midday, like 11 to 2 or something
Yeah.
like that is when they are. And that's when, people are at home. The people that don't work are, moms and stay-at-home dads and that type of stuff.
I saw Judge Joe Brown. He's supposed to be another no-nonsense guy. He's doing a commercial for some like bail bondsman or something. I don't even know what he's doing a commercial for. Some kind of
I love
trial
Judge
lawyer
Joe
commercial.
Brown.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
That was Montel Williams, but all black people look alike, so that's fine.
They're not Lawrence Fishburne. I know that. I'm working my way through this. Everything good, Greg? You're looking at me with those puzzled eyes. Everything good?
That's just my normal stare.
Okay, I just
It's
want to
my
make sure
gaze.
Puzzled
that
eyes.
everything is good.
I'm
Hey,
confused about life. We're on.
It was a fun
We're good.
experience, though. I liked doing it, and
Right.
I'm excited to see it. because
Wednesday
it was
at noon.
interesting. Wednesday at noon.
Fox 5 here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be stranded, or not stranded, but everybody's going to be indoors because
Yes, you have nothing else to do.
We're going to overreact again. You're going to have a good day. Whether the weather is really bad or people just stay home because they think it's going to be bad,
Yep.
you're going to have a lot of viewership for Judge Alex.
I'm excited.
Did Judge Alex say anything to you? Was he nice to you at all? Or?
Yeah, I almost blew it at the end because he was ripping this dude that I was suing so hard. Like he was going at him so bad that I almost stood up for him at the end because I felt so bad. And he looked at me. He's, you'll have to tune in tomorrow to catch these enemies.
I can guess
Tune in.
as to who won just because if you're saying that you felt like you had to, but I'm not going to.
I may or may not have blown it.
Yeah, you may have blown it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a little more news before we get out of here. And go ahead and give me one story because I definitely want to hit this Shia LaBeouf stuff that I
Sure.
have over here. Is that his name, LaBeouf?
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 He is.
He's LaBeouf.
I love
Give me
this
some.
music.
Give me some.
NFL defensive Michael Sam is
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
He plays all of defense.
He plays every position on defense.
Defense end.
Defensive guy.
Yeah. He runs on a field and he falls down.
He is a defensive end, I believe, for
Yes.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Mizzou.
Is he playing? He's not playing now, right? He's
going to be in the draft, the NFL draft.
He was.
He was.
He's out of the closet. He's gay.
So he's going to be the first person going into the NFL.
He's going to be the
openly
first. Exactly.
Gay.
He's going to be the first openly gay and active NFL player.
And I think that. So the question is whether this hurts him before the draft.
People are there are a lot of people, including some Dolphins players, that are sending out messages like on Twitter.
Because they got PR issues.
No, that's that guy that took his shirt off in that bar and was tweeting the N-word to that friend of his.
Yeah, they had their whole Bullygate thing this year.
Yeah, he is even coming out and saying,
of course he is.
But that's okay. But other people who don't have that issue, they have the hashtag respect. Bro.
Everybody's going to come out. Oh, really?
It takes guts. It takes guts to do what you did.
I mean, it does. I'll give him
neat.
that.
I think it should just be hashtag neat.
Meat.
Neato.
Did you say meat?
Meat.
I thought you said meat also.
Meat would work also.
Yes.
Yeah, you're choosing.
What's interesting is that they asked him what he's looking most forward to in the NFL, and he said October, breast cancer awareness, because he can wear pink.
Jokes.
Boy, everybody's busting each other this morning. No, that's not a joke. That actually happened.
Oh, yeah? All right.
And I just made that up on the spot. I didn't write that down. So
that was good.
You're welcome.
Straight from your mind.
No, here's the danger
Straight
in
from
this.
my gay-hating brain.
The danger in this is the headline is that he's a lineman. He was the best in the SEC at his position. Now, a lot of people who don't understand NFL football, pro football, the difference between college and there's a chance that this guy could slide down.
Sure.
And this could help him slide down. Number one, because he was great in college at his position. Apparently, he is too small for that position in the NFL. So if you bring him into you bring him into that.
Perfect
he's tight.
size.
I should have said tight. You bring him in. First thing you got to do is you got to give him a new position. You got to train him up in that position. He was not seen as anything above a third-round draft pick before this. Now, does he slide down, and is it necessarily hate if he does? Let's say you're a team. Let me say you're a team, and you get to this position, and you've got a couple guys on the board, and they're pretty much, they can go 50-50. But when you're bringing this guy in, you're bringing the media big time. You're bringing a circus big time. The Jets should pick him up. They've already got a media circus every year. But I think that that's legitimate. That if there's somebody else on the board that's basically as good as he is, it's legitimate for you to say to yourself, do I want this in the locker room this year? Will this be a distraction? Because every player on your team this is a question that the coach is going to get, the GM's going to get, every player is going to get, and 31 other teams aren't going to have to deal with that. So it's something that they might think about.
I think the Jets will actually pick him up. It's a good balancing act for them because their coaches are lesbian. So I think that
exactly. They can go out on the town together.
They can actually hang out.
Do lesbians and gay guys like each other? I don't think so.
Depends.
You don't see a natural sort of, hey, we're all hanging out. I guess they
maybe not.
I think that gay guys love men and lesbians hate men, so they just can't really get on the same page.
What a bold statement.
Well, no, I mean hate men, meaning
you can't paint with such a broad brush.
Oh, sure you can.
No, you can't.
Why use the word broad when we're talking about lesbians? You're so insensitive.
You're so insensitive. I love lesbians. Don't get me wrong.
And
again, another website that I enjoy.
I'm refusing to play this game. I'm for gay marriage. I'm for everything. But I'm still allowed to say whatever the hell I want about people,
of course,
and not be labeled as a hater or whatever.
Who's labeling you?
I can see it, Michael. Every time I bring this up, he's got that. Oh, you're old world kind of thing in his eyes. I'm just saying.
You're gonna say me.
I will say to you that I believe that. Not I believe, but I think that gay guys really, really, really love guys. But I think an awful lot of lesbians have dealt with really bad men in their lives. And this one day they said, you know what? I am not dealing with those a-holes anymore. And I think most lesbians could go either way.
Well, women's sexuality is much more fluid than men's.
Women are allowed to be kind of gay if you think about it. I mean, Greg and I are friends, but I can't sit around and comb his hair. Like you have girlfriends.
I'll have you know that I had a friend dye my hair once. The tips. I dyed The tips of my hair red when I was 20 for some
I
reason.
remember those crazy years.
But you have to put a bonnet on with little holes in it so you can pull it through. And I sat on the floor and played Madden to offset.
Yes.
Right. Do something masculine.
This couldn't be more heterosexual.
But he sat in the
than
chair
playing
behind
Madden.
me and he plucked the hair.
There
through
wasn't
the
a
little
girl in
holes.
your life that you could have done that for you?
There was, but I was avoiding her
But
because
if
I
you
wanted to
walk-
break up.
Oh no.
If you walk into a room and two girls and one's brushing the other one's hair, you don't think it's girls. But if
Right.
you walk into a room and you see two guys and one's brushing the other guy's
It is
hair,
different.
eh.
Sure.
So I think there's more.
Well,
I don't know
women,
what point was there.
women are
I had no idea what
sexualized.
my point was.
Right? Women are sexualized, and so we
Right.
see women as sexy things.
Yeah.
And so do men.
Yeah.
So it would make sense to be like more like able to get more intimate with a woman than
And
two men get.
You ever gotten intimate with a
together.
woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
How far?
There was
Who
a
hasn't?
brief moment you were like, "This, yep."
I know my
let's
dad
say
is
it.
listening, so.
Well, that's okay. It's time for him to know the truth.
Well, you know,
Well,
we
intimate,
all have
you mean like
tried.
hugging, naked?
Just holding hands with a lady.
You talking about naked wrestling?
I'd like to know how far it went.
Well.
This is my Howard Stern moment right here at the end
Oh
of the
yeah.
show.
Cliffhanger.
We're out of time.
Show us your
play the sound, the new sound.
Show us your pregnant belly. Come on, take it off.
Yeah, I'll show the belly. All right, that's the news.
So how far did it go?
It wasn't that far. I mean,
That
it
was-
was just like messing around and being stupid.
Making out.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No, because I was like, where's the guy? Like,
Really?
it's too soft.
He's in the other room.
Yeah. Everything was real soft on
Yeah,
their
right.
face, and it was weird.
You're
I didn't
describing
like
the
it.
exact reason I like women.
I know. I think
Right.
that's why I'm not a lesbian.
Were you
It's
high?
because it was too
Drunk?
I was probably high. Back then I was getting high.
A wine.
No wine. I was
She
way
used to
under.
have a little
age.
Chablis.
There's a
in
theory
her
that says
system.
that any woman with enough wine will experiment.
Well,
like
and
that.
enough, and if there's a guy there that they like, they'll always like
Right.
at clubs, they're always like making out, right, to impress other guys.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another double
Who's
standard.
impressed by that?
Guys that go to clubs
Yeah.
and Michael Albanese.
Yeah, meet me at the clubs.
I ignore it. If I
I'm a big
see,
club guy.
If it seems like it's for show, I just ignore it. I'm like, you're not getting my attention.
Right.
Well, because you don't like the idea. It's not so much the gay part of it.
It's
So
the
you don't like
same-
the idea of people trying to get your attention.
Yeah, you're right.
By
Same
doing
if a
things.
guy has a nice sports car and he drives by
Yeah.
slowly.
Last thing I'm going to bring
I'm not
up with
looking
him.
at you.
Yeah, right.
It's the same guy that wears like a snake around his
Yeah.
shoulders
What?
that walks
I would look
in
at
the
him.
park.
I would watch that man.
Yeah, but they still act nonchalant. Like, oh, what?
Oh,
this
my
snake?
snake? Yeah.
What? This
Oh,
one?
a picture? I guess.
Ugh,
Yeah.
do I have a snake around my? I
Pulls out
forgot
his
to leave
tip
him at
jar.
He's so friendly.
Moron.
Well, you know what? We are about the end of episode number 1. Speaking of meeting in the clubs, where could we see a Michael Albanese, for instance? We know he's going to be on Judge Alex tomorrow at noon
Yes.
on Fox 5. But are you appearing in any of our comedy bistros around town?
You can catch me at, I'll be at the Improv Thursday through Saturday, February 27th through March 1st with one of my favorite comics ever, Robert Kelly.
Oh,
I'll
cool.
be featuring for him at the Improv up in Buckhead, which I'm really excited about. I never met him, but I'm super excited.
Go see
Never
Michael.
met him.
He's a great comic. I saw him not too long ago, and we had a great time. Did really funny stuff.
Thanks, man.
Well worth seeing. So, go see Michael and heckle him.
Get
Sit
more,
in the front
you,
row.
You
and
can hear more sexist and racist stuff come out of my mouth on stage
I know.
live.
Well, I saw you. You mentioned in your act that you're a Republican, but I don't believe that. Was that a joke that I didn't get?
Yeah, because if I said liberal, it doesn't go well with the bit. But I don't do that bit anymore, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, I saw the retirement
yeah,
of that bit.
pretty
That was
much.
the last one.
Yeah. I'll pull it out sometimes
there.
if I need to, but
Mhm.
you know how as comics we just have all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I pull it out of your little comedy bag. Thank you for being here for the show and being
I'll
part
be
of the
here
team.
for the rest of them. Hopefully, am I getting fired? Is this
Yeah,
what's
this
happening?
is
no,
it.
no.
Thank you. Thanks for everything. Goodbye.
But I have to say that on the beta show and everything, we got a lot of great feedback about the crew and
Oh,
everything,
good.
which is a really cool thing because people are resistant to stuff like that. And I wanted, if anybody was going to get hammered, I wanted it to be me. Autumn Fisher, do you appear anywhere? I don't believe you do.
No, I appear on the show.
Yes.
That's about it.
So you'll be appearing here tomorrow. By the way, everyone's fired if you're not in tomorrow.
Well.
That's just the way that it goes.
Bye, Eric. It was
So-
nice. It was nice
Yep.
working with you.
That's good run.
It's just gonna be me. I don't even know how
Yeah.
to turn on the cameras. That'll be me back. I'll be in front of that Mac, talking into the thing. Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Or we'll just play this show again if things are too bad. Greg
Uh,
Russ,
you can,
yes.
you can find me on Facebook or Twitter, Otto Pritz.
Why do you keep that last name thing, Pritz? That's your
'Cause
old
it's-
name.
I know. It's my maiden name is Pritz, Pritts, but because because it's
been there
where
for a long. It's your
yeah,
brand.
Yeah. I guess on Twitter I could change it and I would still keep the account.
Yeah,
Is that
I
true?
think. I don't know. It's probably more difficult to do than it should be.
Yeah.
But I see some places you're Autumn Fisher, and then other places you're pulling the old
No, my
Autumn
name.
Pritz Fisher.
No, my name is Autumn Fisher, but my username is Autumn.
You're not going by the Pritz Fisher anywhere? I thought saw that somewhere.
Oh, I put that on Facebook. You know, you have to put like your maiden name on Facebook, so because if people don't know your new last name, they can search for it that way. Got it all going.
Okay, very good.
And I'm at a Big Man Mike on everything.
Big
Twitter,
Man Mike?
Instagram, Facebook at Big Man Mike.
Don't you have a website that has a weird name?
InMyOwnHead.com.
There you go.
That's where I live.
We are available. This is our first morning show. We are going to have actually 5 shows on this network that will be rolling out over the next couple of weeks.
What about me? You didn't ask where I'd be appearing or where I can be found on the internet.
Nobody cares.
Because you
I'm building a fake tension.
You have no you don't even have a Facebook page and you don't appear anywhere.
I'll be at the Highland Inn all week and leave me alone.
You stay at the Highland Inn? That's right by my crib, dog.
Let's hang.
Let's go down to the store. Let's go to the Majestic.
Let's get drunk tonight and not come in tomorrow.
I gave up alcohol this weekend, so I'm pretty sure I'm ready to start drinking again.
That's right. Fall off the wagon quickly. Doesn't hurt as much.
I'm always being drugged by the wagon. I got my foot chained to it. It's going to kill me.
We're available at ericvonradio.com. You'll be able to find all of this stuff. Autumn is still working on our iTunes podcast deal. Yeah. We have Live 365, and basically we're just going to rerun this show. It's got to be 24 hours. So we will rerun the previous show until we get back on. Of course, the Ustream. Everything Eric Von Radio, you'll be able to find at Live 365, at Ustream, ericvonradio.com. We got Twitters with the Eric Von Radio. And remember this most importantly, patreon.com. We want to build this. We want to make this something great. Do you want to go into business with us and help us create the radio that we all want to hear? I hope you do, but either way, it's still free, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. Thanks for being here. Thanks a lot. This is where I look stupid just looking at the camera until it goes out.
Now you've already been faded.
Very good.